Chris P. Bacon from Good Evening America, channel 172. Today, nuclear energy is a very important energy source in the world today. Many countries depend on fossil fuels, but fossil fuels are non-renewable sources and are becoming less reliable. Also, fossil fuels cause pollution, such as greenhouse gases being emitted into the air. This is why many fossil fuels are no longer being used and are being substituted for nuclear energy. Well, today I'll be interviewing Luther Wigglebottom from the National Association of Nuclear Energy in Texas. Luther.
Well, that's right, Chris P. My name is Luther Wigglebottom. Well, Chris, down in Texas, we use nuclear energy as an energy source. Nuclear energy provides over 11% of the world's electricity. And it has no CO2 emissions.
Does it really have no CO2 emissions?
Darn right, feller.
Well, that's very interesting. Luther, why should we use nuclear energy rather than other energy resources?
Well, Chris, many countries rely on fossil fuels for energy. With fossil fuels, release pollutants into the air, such as greenhouse gases. And the other great thing about nuclear power is it uses small amounts of uranium to create large amounts of electricity.
Wow, Luther, that is very interesting.
Yes, Chris P, it really is. As well as fossil fuels, many countries don't have enough water to generate hydroelectricity. Hydroelectricity also damages habitats, ecosystems, and can cause earthquakes. Well, earthquakes are caused by the disruption of the flow of rivers.
Well, that's very interesting. Thank you very much, Luther, as we will take a commercial break. Thank you. We'll see you after the break. Now we are joined by Hubert Len to discuss the pros and cons of nuclear energy. By the way, Hubert, nice mustache and beard.
Thank you, Chris. I take very much pride in this. And as he said, my name is Hubert Len. And those of you who don't know, I work at a nuclear power plant.
Well, that is very interesting. Now can we learn the cons of nuclear energy so we can understand them better?
Well, one con is that it costs much more than other energy sources. And another con is that breeders produce plutonium, and it is a byproduct of a chain reaction, and it is very harmful if introduced to humans.
Well, now let's hear the more important pros of nuclear energy.
Well, one pro is that nuclear energy lowers carbon dioxide levels and other gases released into the atmosphere. And the last pro is that it creates large amounts of energy with little uranium.
Well, now that is very interesting. Thank you so much for your time, as we will now go back.
Today I will be explaining a summarized version of how this nuclear reactor works. First, these atoms of uranium split. Those splitting atoms set off a chain reaction, and those split more atoms in this reactor vessel. That creates energy, and that heats this water in this tube. The pressurizer pressures this tube so that the water, which is really hot, will not boil. Since this is pressured, this travels through this tube at a really hot temperature. It heats this water in this steam generator, and it turns to steam and goes to the turbine. That steam turns the turbine, which generates energy in the generator that we can use. Displayed here goes to the power lines to the city. That steam condenses into the condenser and is recycled back into the steam generator to be used again.
And for the last time, I will bring you the interesting news on nuclear energy. In the USA, of all carbon-free resources, nuclear power is the only one on a large scale generating 21% of America's electricity. And in the US in 1980, France switched from nuclear power, or from fossil fuels to nuclear power, and their pollution decreased by 80%. Signing off for the last time is Chris P. Bacon.
Hubert.
Luther.
And Agnes.
Sayonara. Hello there. Today I'll be interviewing Luther Wigglebottom.
Today I'm going to explain a summarized version of how a nuclear reactor works. First, the atoms of uranium are split. Now these splittings of atoms set off a chain reaction.
Okay, he's laughing.
I can do it.
No, I'll do it. Trey, just.
Uh.
I'm Chris P. Bacon from Channel 302 to Good Evening News. Whether news happens or not. Today's subject is nuclear energy, a very important energy source. Today, many countries depend on fossil fuels, but fossil fuels are non-renewable and are becoming less reliable. Also, fossil fuels cause pollution such as emitting greenhouse gases. Shut up! Hello there, and today we'll be interviewing Luther Wigglebottom from Texas in the National Association of Nuclear Energy. Luther?
Yes, that's right, Crispy. My name is Luther Wigglebottom. Well,